want one last trip to the long trail?
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Harada's bar and a recent discussion that took place on Harada's bar. Now, for those of you who don't know, Harada opened up a bar about a year ago, which is strange because that's when the pandemic was at its peak. But he opened up a bar and he uses this YouTube channel as advertisement for the bar. Now, I don't know how much the YouTube actually helps the successfulness of the bar, but regardless, we do get some pretty insightful information from these YouTube videos. He talks about gaming, Tekken, gaming development, just many different aspects, and I do appreciate him doing this because most developers would not do what he's doing. So I do appreciate him doing that. But what we're going to be talking about today is a recent discussion that he had on there. Now, everyone knows there's been multiple Tekken 8 leaks popping up. Multiple. That's the thing we have to understand. I covered all of the leaks, and these leaks are not related to one another. These leaks are individual. They are separate. So when Harada is addressing the leak in this video, he's addressing one specific leak. And this does not have to do anything at all with the other leaks. And I think this says a lot about how real the other leaks are. So before I dive too deep into that discussion, I took multiple screenshots and I'm going to be reading and breaking down exactly what he says, and I'm going to be talking about exactly what it means. Also, I have a comment here that is sort of what is inspiring me to do this video, because after Harada put up this video, I seen a lot of people started discrediting all of the leaks. They're saying, since Harada said what he said, they're saying all of the leaks are fake. And me, myself, I don't believe that is true. I think if we pay attention to what he's saying, we can really understand which ones are fake and which ones are really real. But let's look at this comment and then we'll get into the screenshots. This comment was left on a video that I just put out a few days ago. Tekken 8 release date leaked by Nvidia GeForce. The comment says, roll eyes. Meanwhile, on Harada's Saturday morning sit down, 11:20, he deconfirmed any leak about Tekken 8. Highly suggest you go watch that. Nvidia GeForce are rumors are debunked. Tekken 8 isn't coming out anytime soon. Now, I want to quickly break down this comment because this comment is wrong and I think that can be easily proven. The first part where they say the Nvidia GeForce rumors are debunked. I talked about this many times before, but first off, Nvidia confirmed it themselves that they were actually hacked. They confirmed that the information that was leaked was actually from their servers. That is a fact. It's a documented fact. The second part, the leak that Harada was talking about was not the Nvidia leak. We're going to get into the screenshots and we're going to break down which leak he was talking about. Because like I said, there are many different Tekken 8 leaks out there right now. So the segment of the video is like 20 minutes long, but the segment that talks about the Tekken 8 leaks, it says, some completely unfounded information about Tekken from overseas. Now, I thought this sentence was very interesting. First off, the word unfounded, I think that's a very important word. I think he chose that word for a specific reason. If we look at the definition of unfounded, having no foundation or basis in fact. And the way that he puts from overseas, it kind of just even more just like dumbs it down. Like, he says overseas as if it's not from, Japan. This information isn't coming out of Japan, therefore it has to be fake. And that's why I think this comment is getting a little bit confused because of the wordplay that Harada is using. Very clever wordplay. I would give Harada that. But when we look at the facts and everything that's happening, it kind of falls apart. But let's get into the actual screenshots. Someone who's interviewing him, I don't know who the interviewer is, but Harada is sitting in front of the camera. There's someone sitting behind the camera asking Harada questions. The person behind the camera, I'll just say the cameraman, just to make it simple. The cameraman says, there was a leak thing, right? Harada says, a leak? the cameraman. It was a few weeks ago. Harada said about what? Now, of course, Harada already knows what this leak is about. He responded to the leak on Twitter. I covered that in a recent video. But in this, I guess he's just playing it up for the dramatics. The cameraman says about Tekken 8. Harada says, that wasn't a leak. Can you call that a leak? Here he says, there were tweets calling it a leak. That's what the cameraman says. Harada, it wasn't a leak from Twitter. It was from a foreign forum. Now, this is the thing. This right here says exactly which leak he's talking about. Like I said, there is multiple leaks. Multiple. There was one specifically that originated from, I believe, 4chan. The guy created some fake 4chan posts, and that spread it across the community like wildfire. I covered it in a video. He was talking about characters. He was talking about game mechanics. He was talking about story. He said Brian Fury lost an eye. He put so much in that leak, and it was so much that in the video that I put out, there was so much that was still left out from it. But even the person who created that himself said it was fake, and I believe he started like going on like a rant and, you know, being toxic. I won't get too deep into that, but that sort of fell apart very rapidly, and everyone found out that it was fake very rapidly. But that still leaves two other leaks that has nothing to do with the 4chan. We'll get to this in a second. But Harada says a person was saying he was a leaker, talking about the 4chan person, or like a spoiler. He claimed he had some insider info. He also said, I'm not working on Tekken 8, but I got some accurate information a few months ago, so what I'm saying is correct. That's basically what the 4chan person was saying. But I don't know what made him come clean after it blew up, after everyone was tweeting it at Harada, videos were being made. The guy eventually came clean and said, this is not real. I just did this for whatever reason. I don't know why he did it, but he did it. Now that brings us to the two other leaks. We know for sure this leak is fake, but there's still two other leaks. And here's why I think these leaks are incredibly real. First off, Nvidia confirmed that they were hacked. So that means regardless of why they had Tekken 8 in their software, in their system, they had Tekken 8 in their software, and they had a release date for Tekken 8 in their software. Now, the funny thing about this Nvidia GeForce leak, Harada has never once, he never ever mentioned the word GeForce, GeForce Now, GeForce Tekken 8. He never said anything about GeForce, and the fact that he hasn't makes me believe that it's even more real. We saw that the Nvidia, a big thing that came out of the Nvidia leak was GTA Trilogy. That's now out. God of War PC, that is coming out in January. So this Nvidia leak is looking very, very true. And the fact that Harada hasn't even mentioned it, he never even said any, he didn't even acknowledge that it exists. And to me, I think if the Nvidia leak was fake, like the 4chan leak, then he would say it. But since he's not saying that it's leak, that it's fake, it's obviously realistic. Now, the release date, whether or not you want to believe Tekken 8 is coming out in December, me personally, I don't, but I still believe that Tekken 8 was in their software for whatever reason. Whether they were testing compatibility, whether they were just seeing the file size, whatever. I think Tekken 8 is actually real, and I think we can actually see it coming in 2-3 years. At most. I know some people are saying push it back till 2024, but you have to understand the earliest versions of Tekken 7 was in 2024. I know the console, the arcade version happened in 2015, but in 2014, that was when the first version of Tekken 7 was being published, being released to the public. And for them to put Tekken 8 out 10 years later, that is so far away. Think about it. 2024, we will be 4 years into the new console generation. That means by the time Tekken 8 comes out, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X will be 4 years old. Just let that sink in. That's too far away. I think what's more realistic is 2023. That gives us enough time to get away from the pandemic, and that gives us enough time for tournaments to come back, and it also gives them enough time to polish it, to figure out hackers and all these things I mentioned before in past videos. But I just think it's so interesting that Harada has never mentioned the words Nvidia GeForce Now. This thing was so big and it swept across the entire gaming platform. 18,000 games and titles, yet Harada says nothing about it. But someone on 4chan can make a leak that's obviously fake, and he's talking about that nonstop. You know, the whole question, for everyone who's saying all of these leaks are fake, my question to you, why would Harada go out of his way to say one leak is fake, but then he would completely ignore a whole separate leak that in my opinion is bigger than the 4chan leak? So it's just a little bit of confusion there. And I think the reason why he's not saying it's fake is because it's real. But that's going to be it. That's everything that I have to say in this video. You guys can check back to these past 3 videos if you want a more in-depth version of me breaking down the leaks and the information and all that. But this video was just me talking about Harada and sort of gauging his reaction and what he's saying, and sort of trying to break down why he's saying what he's saying and what does it mean, right? But like I said, go check out those other videos if you want to hear more about the Tekken 8 leaks, and just check out my channel in general. I do a lot of things on the channel about Tekken and whatnot. But that's going to be it. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye bye.
That's how you get it done.